All right, everyone, welcome back to the episode. Recording on a Tuesday because we had some good Monday night games. Want to see if there was anything substantial out of those. Pretty good game for the Bears. Good to see Caleb ball out. I'm excited about that. Episode 36, by the way. Tough look for Troy Aikman, who is just shitting on Caleb every chance he got for no reason, which was pretty insane. Not really talked about a lot. It kind of in the media, but I doubt they will. But it was just weird. It was just weird. And then you have the Bills losing again, which is kind of firming up my take last week that I'm not impressed with them. And I'm still not impressed with them. The defense has issues, and Josh Allen, he's not playing as good as we thought he would be. He needs to pick it up. He needs to. But we're going to dive right into the recap of a great football weekend. The first thing leading in college football, I think I know ball, you guys. I think I do because I called it. I called James Franklin. I didn't think he'd be fired this fast. I didn't think it would just be a complete disaster after you lose to Oregon, but it was. Penn State loses to Northwestern at home. A horrible loss. A loss where they also lose Drew Aller for the rest of the season. Just an all-around bad loss for this team. And I don't know. I mean, if you're a Penn State fan, I think there's a mix of them that are happy and some that are sad. Because you're sad because you've had all this excellence and all this high production for the past couple of years. And last year you were, I mean, a play away from going to you were an interception away from going to the national championship. And it's it's just tough to see for Penn State, but I called it. I mean, you could see the writing on the wall, and it's the same thing that we're going to see for Brian Kelly if he continues to lose games. Brian Kelly's going to get himself into a situation like this. Now, think back 15 days ago. What a turnaround. Oregon Oregon is trying to hold off a comeback from Penn State, and Penn State goes and scores on fourth down and has a decision to go for two or kick the extra point to go to overtime. They kick the extra point, they go to overtime, they lose to Oregon. Do you think Penn State fans and James Franklin is thinking, what if I went for two and just got it? What if I had just gone for two in general? I think a lot of them are. I would be. That changes the whole outlook of your season. 15 days. 15 days. Now, this opens up the bigger picture that we have multiple job openings coming this fall. And I think we're going to see more open up as well. I think there's a potential that we can see Auburn after Auburn's bad loss to Georgia, where they had the lead. Hugh Freeze just couldn't coach that well in the second half after that fumble happened on the goal line. Arkansas is already up. Penn State is up. Are we going to see Nebraska be up? Is Matt Rule going to go to Penn State? Now, Penn State, I know their top candidate right now is Kirk Cignetti or Matt Rule. Both those guys don't seem like they're leaving. And I don't. That's the other thing about firing the coach. Like, yeah, you make a good decision to fire the coach, but who are you going to get to replace him with that caliber of excellence? A guy I want to throw out there is Matt Campbell. He's done well at Iowa State. I would put him in there. It's just a tough situation. Another guy I wouldn't be shocked that left and went to Penn State would be Eli Drinkowitz. He's done really well since he's been in the SEC. I wouldn't be shocked with that either. So, yeah, I know ball. I knew it, guys. I'm not shocked because I know ball. But yeah, tough for Penn State fans. Tough for James Franklin. I will take James Franklin on Arkansas. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I will back up the truck for James Franklin. If you bring Arkansas to be a contender every single year, yeah, I'll take that. I will take that. Now, speaking of Missouri and Eli Drinkowitz, let's go right into our recap. Bama 27, Missouri 24. This was really the Alabama's here game. And It wasn't just their defense that played great; it was the offense that played great too. Ty Simpson had 200 passing yards and 3 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Bo Perbula was 16 of 28 passing for 167 yards. He ran the ball really well on the ground, but he had two interceptions that he threw. Now, what caused issues for Missouri here in this game and not didn't allow them to be able to capitalize on what could have been a win in this game, especially late in the game, was they were 1 of 10 on third downs. 1 of 10 on third downs. You're not going to beat Alabama if you're 1 on 10 on third downs. You have a home game, crowd is rocking, you're back in this game, and you can't capitalize on third downs. You have to make these plays. I don't also know they ran the fake punt, and I thought I thought he got it, but how do we not have we have cameras and telescopes that can see someone on the fucking moon, and we can't see if someone crossed a first down or not? I thought that's why we put chips in the football. I know that's just for NFL, but should be the same for college. And if it's that good, we should be able to see. It's the same thing with the Auburn game. It was crazy. It was crazy because it was, of course, Bama gets that call. But the moral of this story and the biggest takeaway I had for this game is that Ty Simpson, I've been talking about in the past couple weeks, the dude has arrived. The dude has arrived. He's not slowing down. The pass he made, I think it was 4th and 8. He was backing up on like his own 45. No, on Missouri's 45, and just slung a ball across his body on 4th and 8, fit it in the smallest window, and it was insane. And that was like a get up off your couch, holy shit throw. Like, it was a tremendous throw. Alabama now has a quarterback again that can throw the football like they had with Bryce Young. And he is now look, friend Mendoza is definitely the Heisman frontrunner after their win against Oregon, but Ty Simpson's right is neck and neck with him, and it is going to come down to both of these teams. Now, why do I think Ty Simpson's going to win it? Because Ty Simpson has way more games against ranked teams on his schedule and against top teams on his schedule than Indiana does. Indiana doesn't have a single ranked team left on their schedule, if I'm not mistaken. So there is more. Now, there's more spots where Ty Simpson could mess up and hurt himself offensively for the Heisman contingent, but there's also, on the flip side, way more opportunities where he can prove himself and put himself up in the rankings for number one for the Heisman. So, great job, Ty Simpson. Bama is here. All right, Texas 23, Oklahoma 6. I was wrong about this one. I was dead wrong about this one. John Mateer did play. He wasn't great. He was 20 for 38 for 202 yards, and he threw 3 interceptions. And the 3 interceptions were very bad interceptions, especially the one right before half. Because the one right before half, you are in field goal range. You're going to put more points on the board against a Texas team that looks like they're getting their footing. That looks like they're learning how to play. This offense is getting confident. Get points on the board. Go into half, get points on the board. And no, John Mateer throws a very bad interception at the end of the half, and you just waste that opportunity right there. And all of his throws, I need to go back and watch early in the season. Does he always throw off his back foot? If so, then that's a problem he needs to fix, because every interception he threw, it seemed like he was backing up, and then just throwing off his back foot at the last second. It's weird that he does that, because you're going to just lead to inaccurate balls. So, I mean, I'm not a quarterback, but if it's not working, you need to fix it. There were some other good spots. I mean, Deion Burks was good in the OU receiving with 64 yards. Torrey Blaylock had 33 yards on the ground rushing. You know, you try to run You try to run Mateer a lot, but he really couldn't. In that hand, he kept getting hurt, or he kept kind of banging it up, and he had to get it, taped up some more. I don't think the hand was an issue for him. I think he was rushed back way too quick in this game to play. I think he would have been fine in this game with Michael Hawkins. I don't think Michael Hawkins throws 3 interceptions. And the defense for Oklahoma in the first half was playing great. But then in the second half, Arch started to wake up. Arch finished this game 21 for 27, 166 yards and 1 touchdown. Arch only threw the ball 27 times, only for 166 yards. But when he did, he looked efficient and he was accurate. And I think the reason we saw a good Arch this past weekend is because of the Texas run game was actually able to get going. I'm going to mess his name up. Quintravion Wisner, or is it Wisner? Either one of those. He was great. He was the player of the game in this game and for the Texas team. He had 22 carries with 94 yards, and he had 5 receptions for 34 yards. He was very good in this game. Him being able to run the ball very effectively and just Texas being able to run the ball effectively in general allowed Arch to be confident and be comfortable and know that he doesn't have the entire offense and the team just resting on his shoulders. The defense played great for Texas as well. Colin Simmons, it was in basically every single play, it seemed. And then you had the dagger in Ryan Niblett. Niblett, is that his name? Niblett? Yeah, Ryan Niblett's 75-yard punt return touchdown in the fourth quarter. That just separated them from Oklahoma. And any thought that OU was going to make a comeback died right there. It was bad. It was bad for OU. A huge win for Texas. Like I said, look, Texas has 2 losses against, I guess the Florida one doesn't look as good anymore, but there is a world out there where Texas can still make a run if there's all-out chaos. And I'm not putting that behind Texas at all. The 3 interceptions by John Mateer were not good. It's the one before halftime was just horrible. It's just you cannot do this in that situation. You can't take a sack and you can't throw an interception. Texas was really good on third down. They were 10 of 17, which allowed them to sustain these drives. And I just keep going back to Arch looking more confident and more comfortable. And all of that is because the offensive line in the run game were able to play very well. They allowed Wisner being able to run for that much, allowed Arch not to feel like he has to do everything. So he was able to, only throw for 166 yards and be efficient, make some really good throws. The throw he made to Parker Livingstone was a really good one. I think that was like in his own end zone or on the 10-yard line. He looked really good in this game. So this is a tough loss for OU. Now you go on the road to South Carolina. Hasn't been a good South Carolina team this year, but that's a dangerous place to play, and it's a tough place to play. And you got to bring your A game, or OU could fall rapidly. We could see a rapid fall from OU, and I don't want to see that because I like John Mateer, I like Brent Venables, and they've got a good defense and a good team. They need to just get that in order. But Texas, keep piling on these wins, and if the chaos scenario happens, you can find yourself in the playoffs. All right, Indiana at Oregon. Indiana won 30-20. This was the shocker of the weekend. This was the shocker. I was shocked. I put the house on this. I thought Oregon was going to kill them because the line had dropped down to 7. And I'm like, oh my God, I think Oregon's going to just destroy them. They're at home. Dante Moore's been playing great. No, Indiana showed up and showed us that, yeah, they're legit. They're in the upper echelon, not only with the Big Ten teams, but with college football now. They are a legit team. Fernando Mendoza was great. He was 20 for 31, 215 yards and a touchdown and 1 interception. Ramon Hemby has been great as a running back here for Indiana. He had 19 carries with 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also played really well in the receiving game as well. Elijah Surratt, this guy dominated the Oregon secondary. He had 8 catches, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown. He had the go-ahead score as well. The defensive line and just the defense in general played really good for Indiana too, and they made Dante Moore's life hell. Dante Moore was sacked 6 times. He threw 2 interceptions. Wyatt, Fisher, Jones, Hardy, they all recorded sacks and pressures. Aiden Fisher was the tackle leader, but they caused issues for Dante Moore, and they weren't. It seemed like the Oregon offense was never really able to get into a rhythm this game. They weren't able to be in the all right, we're just going to punch you in the face mentality. They were not, and that's something we haven't seen from one of Dan Lanning's teams before. Dante Moore was 21 of 34, only 186 yards and a touchdown, and as I mentioned earlier, he had 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 6 times as well. Davison carried the ball 8 times on 59 yards. He played great in the backfield for them, but wasn't enough to be able to pull this win off for them. Um, the only passing touchdown that Dante Moore had was to Malik Benson, 1 catch for 44 yards. Brandon Finney Jr. He had the big play against Indiana that looked like Oregon was about to come back into this game and take this lead and make some plays. He had the pick six return for 35 yards to just tie the game in the fourth quarter. And you're looking at that like, all right, here's Oregon. Oregon is going to wake up. They're going to show us that they're here. The Oregon's going to show up. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. This Indiana offense with Mendoza just shut the defense down. After that interception, he was like, all right, we're good. We're good. We're just going to run the ball and then hit you with a pass from now and then on a third down. They're just going to break you. Okay? And that's what they continue to do. Oregon was held to their lowest total yards under Dan Lanning with only 267 and just 3 third down conversions. That's not something we see from a Dan Lanning Oregon team. The 6 sacks and the 2 interceptions really interrupted the rhythm for Dante Moore. My biggest takeaway is Indiana. I mean, I every win against a better and better team, I'm more and more impressed, and this was the win. This was the win for them. Now, as I said, they don't have another top 10 team playing for the rest of the country, for the rest of the season, but this was a great win, and if Oregon, let's see if Oregon turns into being a fraud and they lose a bunch of games, and that's what happens, but Indiana is a wagon. They are a wagon. Kirk Cignetti has made this school a powerhouse. He's going to keep building this team up. I just can't get over how demoralizing this loss was for Oregon. This is an Oregon team that feeling like they were the top of the world after beating Penn State and doing it in that fashion. And Dante Moore has been looking incredible as well. And Indiana just comes in and just beats the shit out of them. And Indiana punched them in the face, basically told them what they were going to do, and they did it every single play, running it down their face, throw the ball right at their secondary. And they're just impressive. And I'm very impressed. I'm shocked. I'm going to be honest, I'm shocked. They are playing their balls off. And it is just, it's just really cool to see that Cignetti has built this team up to the top of the Big Ten in just 2 years. Like, it's an incredible thing to see, and something that kind of makes all other college football teams who have bad coaches or looking for new coaches or wants to establish a winning program, gives them hope, because there are people out there and there's ways that you can do it with bad programs. We never thought of Indiana as a football school. Not once. The only time I ever did was when Michael Penix was there. Then he left, and then that was it. Now they are a top standard football program this year, and they're going to be as long as Cignetti stays there. That's not the normal, but it's the new normal, and it's something we got to get used to. Hats off to Indiana. Awesome win. All right, last college game, Georgia 20, Auburn 10. Man, the refs really fucked Auburn so many times here. Auburn had so many chances here to win this game. So many chances. Well, not really to win this game, but let's start with just the fumble on the goal line. Jackson Dart does a QB sneak, reaches the ball over. As the ball is crossing over, the ball gets hit out of his hand. It's a fumble. They give to Georgia on the 1 yard line. You watch the review. It is a clear, the ball is crossing the plane before it gets hit out of his hands. It's a touchdown, but they don't give it to him. This is going into half. About a minute left in the first half. Auburn would have been up 17-0 if they hit the extra point after this. Instead, you give the ball back to Georgia. Georgia then goes on a drive that is supplemented by multiple bad calls, one targeting call, pass interference, multiple calls that get them within field goal range, allow them to get points on the board. It's a 10-3 game. Instead of a 2-3 score game, it's a one score game going into the second half. Um, and then when that happened in the second half, Hugh Freeze just basically stopped coaching. Um, they didn't look great. They did not look great at all. Um, their rushing attack, they had 140 yards. It was more productive than Georgia's 79. But in the second half, Auburn only managed 40 total yards. After a first half where it looked like they were controlling the line of scrimmage every single play, especially in the run game, 40 total yards is not good. It's not good. That's like Justin Fields on Sunday. Um, Gunnar Stockton completed 24 of 37 passes for 217 yards. He ran in the game-sealing touchdown with about a minute 53 left. Zakarian Branch had 9 receptions for 57 yards. C.J. Allen, the linebacker for Georgia, he led their defense with 10 tackles, a sack, and a pass breakup, and he forced that, in quotations, fumble on the goal line. And that was just a turning point. Jackson Arnold, not good. Completed 19 of 31 passes for 137 yards. He rushed the ball 13 times for 55 yards, including the first touchdown of the game in the first quarter. Like if you were watching this game in the first quarter, you're like, whoa, this is a Jackson Dart that's playing efficient. He's not throwing an interception, but his passing still isn't there. But his being able to run the ball has been efficient in this first half, and it's working against this Georgia team. Kirby Smart came out and said they ran stuff that we weren't even aware of, and we didn't prep. Why don't you keep doing that in the second half, Hugh Freeze? You didn't. This guy's not adjusting. He's not adjusting to anything that's happening. He clearly seemed like he just gave up and was upset with the refs. Yeah, the refs screwed you, man. You're up 7, though. Go do the same thing again. You were dominating this team in the first half. Okay? It's sad for Auburn fans. This is another school that's probably going to open up. This school is going to open up with another coaching search because I believe Hugh Freeze is going to get fired at the end of this year. It sucks to see where it's come from because Auburn looked like a promising team at the beginning of the year, but Jackson Arnold is just not that guy, and Hugh Freeze is not that guy either. He's not the coach that's going to take you to the championship. He's not the coach that's going to bring you the success you have with Gus Malzahn, which is sad to see because I was big on Hugh Freeze. I thought he was going to be good here at Auburn, but he's not. He's obviously not. But yeah, tough game for Auburn. Georgia, you sneaked out with a win. I don't know how you did it, but you came away with this win because Georgia looked dead in the first half. They really did. Also, Kirby Smart with the fake timeout thing, saying he was clapping. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. He should be fined for that or suspended. Insane. All right, that's the end of college. Let's go into the NFL. This is going to be a quicker episode. I only got 3 NFL ones. All right, Cowboys 27, Panthers 30. This was the Rico Dowdle game. Rico Dowdle said before the game, former Dallas Cowboys said they better buckle up. Well, Rico Dowdle had 133 yards rushing on 30 carries and 4 catches for 56 yards receiving with 1 receiving touchdown, 239 total scrimmage yards. That is a franchise record for the Carolina Panthers. He balled out. Bryce Young was 17 for 25 passing, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Tep McMillan got his first touchdown of the season. He had 2 touchdowns this game. Dak was pretty good too. I mean, look, Dak is playing MVP level football. If the defense can step up and they can win some of these games, he can definitely win the MVP, but the defense just isn't doing that, and they're not able to win these games. Dak was 25 of 34, 261 yards, and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. He had a 73.5% completion percentage. Dak played a great game. He really did, and that has been the kind of theme of the Cowboys season is this offense playing great. George Pickens had 9 catches for 168 yards and a touchdown. he is going to get paid either with the Cowboys or with someone else next year. The thing about the Cowboys offense that did not do well for them this game, that has been going well for them every game, is the rushing game. They were held to just 31 total yards on the ground, 1.6 yards per play running the ball. So the defensive line for the Carolina Panthers really played great here and held a good rushing offense for the Dallas Cowboys to just 31 total yards. Very impressive from them. I mean, the Panthers are a wagon at home. They haven't lost at home once. And I really I don't know what to say about Bryce Young. Every week he's playing good and then he'll play bad. Then he'll play good, then he'll play bad. So I don't know what to say about him. I don't think we know what an answer is on him. Now, the Cowboys, like I said earlier, Dak is playing at a level, and this offense, especially the pass offense, is playing at a level where Dak can win the MVP. And the Cowboys could surprise some teams in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. But they're not able to win these games because his defense is so inconsistent and just bad. Matt Eberflus in this defense, it's been horrible. They need to fix some things. It was better with Mike Zimmer, it seemed like. You got to figure some things out. You got to figure some things out. Maybe if you didn't trade Micah Parsons, you'd be okay. Oh, well. But, yeah, I mean, look, I love what I'm seeing out of Dak. Dak's playing out of his mind every single week, and he's playing great football. Jake Ferguson's another guy who's been playing great for them. And you still don't even have CD back, and he scored 27 points this game. I mean, the Cowboys have been playing really great football. They really have. The defenses needs to step up so they can get some of these wins. And if you do, you can potentially sneak your way into the playoffs here. All right, next game. 49ers 19, Bucks 30. I cannot state how much I love Baker Mayfield, how much I love watching Baker Mayfield. This dude is a monster. He was 17 for 23, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had 139.0 passer rating. He made the scramble he made on 3rd and 14 where you had to have it. You had to get the first down there to win this game. He knocks off like 4 defenders rushing the ball and then dives for it and gets the first down, gets up, talks shit. He's talking shit. He got smoked on a touchdown to Jalen McMillan, and as he gets up from throwing the touchdown, he gets up and talks shit to the safety. He is a dog. He's playing MVP level football right now as well. He had the 45-yard touchdown pass to Ted Johnson. That was great too. He threw that on a rope. It was awesome. Now rushing the ball, they had 65 total yards on 17 carries and 1 touchdown. Mac Jones here, and the one bad part though about the Bucks, because I want to say the Bucks are the best team in the NFL. That's what I'm saying right now. They're the best team in the NFL. And Emeka Egbuka getting hurt is a big issue. Now, I don't know what his status is for this week. I think it's a tough injury. That's a big blow. That's a very big blow. But you have people that can step up, and of course you did today. I mean, Tez Johnson was a 7th rounder, and then Jalen McMillan was like a 4th rounder last year. So you got receivers, you got guys. You'll be okay. 49ers, Mac Jones was 27 of 39 passing, 347 yards, and 2 interceptions. Look, Mac Jones is a serviceable backup for this 49ers team. I think he fits this offense with Kyle Shanahan really well, and we can tell Kyle Shanahan loves using him. Now, he's not going to be the starter, of course, but he's playing really good. McCaffrey had 17 carries for 54 yards and a rushing touchdown, and he had 7 catches for 57 yards. Now, Kendrick Bourne was the wide receiver that really went off today. He had 5 catches for 142 yards. Tong had 6 catches for 58 yards. But the issue that messed the 49ers up in this game and really caused those interceptions for Mac Jones was the Tampa Bay pressure. They had 6 sacks, and they pressured him a high number of times. That led look, Mac's not mobile. We all know Mac's not mobile. And this really messed him up. And it led to those 2 interceptions and him, no touchdown passes. But I mean, they still played good. They're in this game, and for all of the injuries they have, and now you're losing Fred Warner, who's the most important part of your defense. things are not looking good for 49ers, but it feels like every time we go into a game and we just list off all the injuries they have and we're like, oh, they're losing. No doubt. They find a way to win these games. Like they almost won this game. So the 49ers are never going to be dead. I'm never going to count them out. The Bucks are just incredible. I'm hoping that you can get Chris Godwin back, you can get Mike Evans back in the replacement for Igbuka being out and being not 100%. That'll be huge. But I just clearly I think they're the best team in the NFL, especially after Detroit lose. I think it's them and Detroit. Those are the two best teams. The most I'm impressed by. I'm excited to see that Monday night game that we have coming up next week. All right, last game. Detroit 17, Kansas City 30. The Chiefs are inevitable. They're here. They never left. I thought they were done. I was wrong. I've been wrong before. I was wrong this time. I was. And Mahomes is here. Mahomes is back. He had 22 completions on 30 passing attempts, 257 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the air, and then 1 rushing, so had 4 total touchdowns. Hollywood Brown came up big in this game. He had 4 receptions for 45 yards and 2 touchdowns. One was also thrown to Worthy as well. The Chiefs not having any penalties in this game is crazy, but are we shocked? Are we shocked? No, we're not shocked. I mean, they don't have any penalties, and then there's just clear screenshots of multiple holds and blocking the backs. And look, I stand with Brian Branch fighting Juju Smith-Schuster after the game. We all hate the Chiefs. He's just doing what every team wants to do. Everyone hates the Chiefs. Jared Goff was 23 of 29 passing, so he was really efficient. He had 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jameson Williams had 6 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. Sam Laporta had a great touchdown catch where I don't know how he got this 2 feet in bounds, holding onto the ball as well. He had 5 receptions for 55 yards and that 1 touchdown. Gibbs played well. Also, he had 17 carries for 65 yards. And total, their offense, they ran 53 plays for 297 yards. So it really was just the defense of the Lions not being able to stop the Chiefs, because the Chiefs kind of kicked it into high gear here in the second half, because you saw that the Lions were making strides, and it looked like the Lions were going to grab control of this game. And then the Chiefs just switched back, and their offense just hit another switch. And now the Chiefs get Rashid Rice back, and they're just going to win again. They're going to win it all again, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's what they do. They're not even the best team in the NFL, but I think they're going to win it all just because it's what they do. It's how their team is built. Travis Kelce's going to go out retired with the Super Bowl, whatever. It's just what's going to happen. For the Lions, this was a shocker. I thought the Lions were going to kill the Chiefs. I really did, and I was proved wrong. I was proved really wrong. I think the Lions' defense, the secondary is an issue, but they have so many injuries in the secondary. They showed it on TV. Almost every single receiver, almost every single cornerback on their depth chart is out with injury. Kirby Joseph also gets hurt as well. Terron Arnold was out before. So now you're even thinner in the secondary. They're even more thin in the secondary, and that's going to cause issues, especially when you're going up against next week the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of Baker Mayfield, who loves to throw the ball and has talent all over the field. So that'll be a fun matchup to see, but the Lions will be okay. They'll be all right. But I think the Chiefs are about to ramp it up here, and I'm going to call now. I don't think the Chiefs are losing the game the rest of the season. I don't think so. All right, well, that is the episode, you guys. I appreciate everybody listening. Great episode. I'm going to be recording tomorrow the preview episode. We've got good games this weekend. Not a lot on paper that really jump out and are like, oh my gosh, we have so many good games. There's a lot of good games, but not as many as we've had weeks prior, especially last week. Yeah, this gonna be a fun episode tomorrow. I'll go through my picks, track them tonight, see where I'm at, and then I'll come with those as well tomorrow night when I'm recording. This will be dropping Thursday morning. As always, I appreciate everybody listening. Make sure you hit that follow button. If we can subscribe, get to subscribers, let me know. That'd be awesome. Once again, appreciate everybody listening and enjoy the football.